Okay, full desktop recording. Ray suggested maybe I release a alpha version. I guess give y'all, I don't think it's release. Y'all are my friends, not the general public. Okay, so every file in here that you see is needed. Supporting files, this is all my stuff. This is all my files that Excel creates, as well as just batch files that I wrote to do different things to interact, which basically functions as a plugin for Notepad++. You don't have to really install anything with this. It's pretty much done, except for you have to create a shortcut and you have to rename it to a specific thing. Maybe this is transferable to other computers. If I make a shortcut, they don't have to do anything. In the past, when I make a shortcut, it would be good on one computer but be bad on another computer. So I don't know. Just to show you though, this is my, as it says here, so I want to show you that this is independent from that completely. First of all, the step to do this is I have in other files this line to add to the end of the target line of the shortcut that we create. So let me just create a shortcut. And when we create the shortcut, just cut all that off. So it's exactly this verbatim. That's the condition that this is going to work, as well as some of the plugins that I made for Notepad++ as well. Those batch files depend on being named this. So I'm going to go to target and then a space and then Control V that thing and say apply, and that's it. So now I have to leave the shortcut in here. It has to stay, but I can pin it to the start menu. So I can just call it from the start menu because I made it there. Alright, so first of all, I can maybe maximize this. You don't see anything right now. File sidebar, and I can say function list to the right if I want. We have different views that I showed maybe in a previous video. They're here. When you right click, we have full screen mode. And then we have max vertical space, which is full screen mode without the sides. But I have them in the right click because you can't access the menu because it disappears, right? So anyway, I explained all that before. So let me open some script files, multi-select, they all open up. What I want to show is this, that if right now I would go to color themes and I want to switch to color theme, this is color theme 1. If I want to switch to 2, what's going to happen is it's going to, like with a lot of plugins for Notepad++, they're going to request that you restart it because that's how plugins can make changes to Notepad++ and it's going to register. But I lost everything I did, right? I lost everything. But those files I have, they were never saved in here before. They were just loaded in and I didn't do any editing in any of them. If you just type in one character in any of them, this is going to auto save every second. That's what it's doing every second, potentially. That's what I have it set to. So the chances that they'll lose data if they want to switch themes, if they're actively editing it, is going to be very slim. But if I just X out right now, and I come back in, you can see that I didn't lose the document list or file sidebar, as I called it before. I didn't lose that. If I X out and I come back in, I didn't lose the function list. But if I open up the files again, and I were to X out now, and open back up, everything's still there. That's the thing with these plugins that I made, is that they can potentially lose the way they had things set up should they not do anything with the files. So like right now, if I go to color theme 2 and I come back, now I didn't lose anything because I already X'd out. So this is the second theme. This is the background of this, and the black there, the blue doesn't look good. This is not, and then even the font, this is Times New Roman, the other one is Courier New. This is not something that we would want to use, but this is just to contrast that one to show you how you can switch themes, that's all. And with this language, there's only 2 languages in here. There's the normal text. This by default is going to be applied to any file that's not a script file. If you open up a script file, then it's going to automatically apply the KaM dynamic script to it. But if not, then it's going to give you this. Another thing too, just in case anyone missed it, when you have function or procedure, you should have 2 forward slashes after it by the end with the semicolon, so that you can Control D it, that's a shortcut key, and then Control F to maximize. So Control D to collapse and that to maximize. And I have those here. Click anywhere in the right click anywhere in the function. You can say minimize. It's going to do the same thing. And then you can minimize all, maximize all. I'll show that before, but just that's one thing about this that they need to do that's kind of different than normal coding. So I can say maximize all. And now before I just had the multi-line comment, this one, but now I have both supported, because I actually found the same problem with the other one as I did with this one, where basically if you already have a commented block and you comment that block, it will uncomment some parts of the block. So I included them both because they're equally as bad in that way. With the color themes, this is important to know that there's two things associated with this. It's the user-defined language as well as the styles. So if I go to the stylers, I mean, this file right here and the user-defined lang, both of these are edited with the batch files that I wrote. And where they are, the themes are stored here, and these files right here are generated with Microsoft Excel. And how they are and why they are is this, that if I come to, this is the workbook that I'm going to use to update the IDE. This is the thing that I'm not finished yet, but as far as the IDE itself, I am just to update it. I'm not done. But here I have T for theme, just to keep it short, because I intend to have probably at least 10 different themes, 8 to 10 or so to start with. But here you just manually just go to the Home tab in Excel, and well, this is the theme number. You got to put that there, but and this you don't ever touch that. I'm going to probably have this sheet protected. You don't enter any text here. All you do is change the formatting. So the way I have it is, if I want to change, let me make a copy of this. So if I change the background of this to like red, and then I click anywhere, it's going to apply to every single one that it needs to be applied to, that they all should have the same background color. And so naturally this one should be also, but then I have to change the color of this to something else. I don't know, maybe yellow. These are all background colors basically, except for line numbers. So basically from this you can generate those files, and it's going to automatically load into the IDE when you update it. I think it's a rather easy way to set the themes, because there's probably, I don't know exactly how many, but I'm guessing 30 different things that have to be changed at a time for each individual theme, because the user-defined language is what color the numbers are, for example, what color the function and procedure is, and this end here, what color that is, what color the comments are, and things like that. But then the stylers is the font type, and is the background color, and the color of the line numbers, and so forth. And with that, you have to be, and even like for parentheses right here, if we go to the Excel file, this is the theme too. Come down to parentheses, that's how it is there, and that's how it is here, right? They're the same. This is correct parentheses, but if it's incorrect, I have it a white background. So like this, you see it's verbatim everything. From this to the Excel file, they're the same. And so is the line numbers and all that. So that is there for us. And like for this one, these two are technically in the same part in the user-defined language, but you don't need to know that. All you need to know is that if you like color this one color and you click anywhere, it's going to automatically color this the same color. So I have it user-friendly like that to do minimal changes to make a theme. When you change the font in one of them, and you click anywhere, it's going to change the font in all of them. Except for this. This right here is going to stay Courier New no matter what. So that's why I have it like that, because that's how Notepad++ behaves. So anyway, I digressed some, but that's what all these things are, so we can just kind of leave them alone. But again, they only can work if there's a shortcut to the exe in the main folder named this. And in other files, I have a font here. This font right here I got from LaTeX markup language. It's a free font from there. That it's a little bit smaller vertically, so your code is more compact, and I think it looks a little bit sharper than Courier New. So I recommend it if y'all want to try it in place of Courier New when you're coding things. This right here, this is for just us to show you where we're going to put the code snippets and what it will look like. So right now actions.giveGroup has a function worth of code going towards it, even though it's not really actions.giveGroup. I just have it as an example, that actions.giveGroup. I mean, sometimes I have to do this. I don't know why. This is just the Notepad++ thing. If I click on it, right now it's just autocomplete, normal autocomplete. But alternate X, it's going to change it. So actions.giveGroup. So now it's the full function of code. And I lost that file that I opened up because I didn't save it before I did that, or I didn't even type anything afterwards. But it's going to be formatted that it has to be a one-liner after the procedure or function name, and you just use \ns so we can programmatically do replacements and generate this file ultimately. It's that simple. They just fill it in from this point on, so these have to be here, and then you just start listing them. So these are the default Notepad++ files, the README and license. But in here, I have a README for this, and I explain in the beginning shortcut keys. And down here, I explain how to do the steps in writing for the shortcut. So maybe I can move this to the top for installation, or just call it installation. I can do that now. That's really the only thing. So we already seen alternate X in action to toggle autocomplete. Alternate A is for, which I thought would be a user-friendly key press for that. So alternate A. Okay, that took a little bit longer than it normally does. That's okay. So now I right-clicked anywhere. I'm going to say move to other view and just move it down. And that's the only time you have to do it. I just kind of review, but it's there. And it'll show hints now and everything if there's hints, or error if there's an error. So if I delete this, maybe it'll show hints if I press alternate A again. Unless there's more errors. No, there's still errors because, yeah, that was it's on line 47, my bad. Yeah, but anyway, that's besides the point. So function list, these two files are what I made the function list from. So Ray, if you wanted to distribute this in any of the 4 options, or all 4 if you want to explain them, to make it easy for people to see which one they want. But this file stays the same for all of them. This is the only one that changes. So I just this is the same code that I posted a few days ago. Auto completion is just one file, and backup has to be there because of the files that are currently in here that are not saved. It's going to back it up until they are saved. Plugins, this is one of the files that I was showing earlier with the quick text that's in there, amongst other things, but that's the only thing in there we really need to know. Shortcuts is something that I'll have to add to when I add themes. I'll have to manually go in here and just literally copy and paste more of these lines and just change 1 or 2 things in each. It's very simple, and then they will magically appear here in this list. Session and config are part of the settings for Notepad++, so they can stay the way they are. This has to be here, and I mentioned this in the README. This file has to be here, just so that you can have a separate session than your default Notepad++. It's kind of weird. There's nothing in it, but it has to be here. And of course, this is the validator. Languages is just normal text. This right here, and it's associated with text files. But when you open up all these, if I didn't say it already, because I did a recording of this twice, when you open up a script file, it's going to automatically come in KaM dynamic script language instead of normal text. But when you open up a new file or you just start afresh, it's going to be in this language, and you have to manually switch it to that. But at first it wouldn't automatically do that. When you have a script file, it's going to, let me change this theme to the better one. The second theme that we just were looking at, I didn't really spend any time on it. This is the one that I've actually programmed with and I like. So this is the one that I'm definitely want to keep for one of the themes. And that's really it. From the About menu, all I did is I left this. Just simply, if they want to go to notepad++.org to learn more, they can. But there were several other things in here. I took that out. In the menu itself, if you notice, I spaced them out much better than I did before. I managed to do that. It was really difficult. Spent many hours on that. I'm never going to do that again. So hopefully this is good enough. But just let me know what y'all think. Try it out. And let me know about maybe some themes that you want in here. Some color themes. and I can easily just put them into Excel and it will automatically do it. And we can add more as need be on each update if need be. And I'll show a video on that once I get that done, how to update the IDE with Excel. It's going to be very easy. It's going to update all these files in here for theme, and it's also going to update auto completion. And lastly, the context menu here. You should have seen how complicated this looked by default, how Donahoe had it for just everybody in general. But this is where you can go. I left this in to get these codes here if we want to modify this in the future. This is just a divider. I didn't know that. I didn't know XML code at all. Maybe y'all know that. This is just a divider in the right click menu. That's what that is. But it's just, you can just rename them verbatim and then just find the code for it if there's a code for it from here. So y'all can play with that if you want. That's it.